Hello, Shay. How are you today? How's your
Oh,
Friday going so far?
I'm great. How are you so far?
I'm so far so good and very excited to talk to you. Thank you for your time today. I love a good family film. I got to tell you, I'm a sucker for that. I'm a parent, and so when a good family film comes around, I'm like, excellent. This one was really fun, but you know what? It also had a lot of heart. And I wanted to ask you when you first were presented the script, what kind of jumped out at you, not just about the story, but also about the character Emma that you play?
Actually, a lot jumped out at me. I really loved doing this audition. It was originally a self-tape, and I read the whole script. And I feel like what really jumped out at me was just the element of connecting with your own family,
Yeah.
because I feel like a lot of the times films will focus on like brand new connections or meeting brand new people and diving into like entirely new relationships. But a lot of the time, you kind of lose touch with people that are already in your life and need
Yes.
to reconnect with them, especially within families as you're growing up. Like teenagers become more independent, try to figure out who they are, but lose sight of connecting with the people that really matter in their lives. So I feel like that being part of the film is very, very sweet and something you don't see quite as often.
Yes, I was absolutely just going to say that because I go, you don't, and you also don't get to see it that much from the kids' perspectives. I mean, here are these kids
Completely. Yeah.
not giving away anything because we know this from the get-go. Their parents want to sit them down. They want to, they want to separate, possibly divorce, and the kids are like, nope, we're not going there. We're not going there. And it's interesting to see it from their perspectives. And I would think, and also getting along with your siblings, because as the movie goes on, you don't take for granted as much who is in your family. And I would think that that would have made you think a little bit too.
Oh, absolutely. It made me think about my own family. I only have one older sister, and we're very, very close. But even still, there have been years where we've kind of gotten a little bit more distant, and then you need to
Yeah.
kind of reconvene and come back together, reconnect. And filming this movie totally made me think about that because over the course, obviously, our us siblings grow even closer than we were before and realize that there are so many more sides to each other than we ever let ourselves believe.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a really sweet message. And I hope it has an impact on other people too with their siblings because they are such special people to have in your life if you are lucky enough to have siblings. So,
100%. Yeah, completely agree with you. And listen, who wouldn't want the possibility of having this whatever to, whatever it is, whether it's a clock or whatever, to have that opportunity to go back in time and make a change. Like, you can't really change history all that much because it's going to alter, like, as
yeah,
we've seen in other films and stuff.
butterfly
But
effect.
yeah, right. But I'm thinking like, what? Well, I'm watching it going, well, is there anything I would rather change? And I'm like, yeah, I guess if I could go back a whole bunch of years, sure, I maybe would have gone that path, but then maybe this wouldn't have happened. How about you? Is there anything that maybe you thought, oh shoot, maybe I should have taken that role or not taken that role?
I actually do think about that a lot about like if I had chose one thing over another, how different life would be. The only thing that I can really think of that was an experience I often look back on is just high school because now I'm in college. So like all my high school years I've already, done that. Nothing crazy, but
Yeah.
I did independent study school for high school. So it was a very different experience than like most of my peers had. And I feel like there were definitely some things that I missed out on that a lot of other people also took for granted, like just high school football games or dances or just like having bigger classes, things like that, that everybody else sings about, but then I didn't have, so I wanted. So I often think like what it would have been like if I had gone to a big regular high school, things like that. But then again, it worked out perfectly the way it was, and I'm super happy with the way that things are. So
Yeah.
as much as you might want to redo the past, I think things always work themselves out.
100%. And yeah, and now that you're in college, I mean, how exciting for you. And then you are getting that experience with more kids and
Yeah,
meeting new people
totally.
and new experience. So fantastic. You get the best of both worlds, Shay. Like, come on,
Totally.
really.
Yeah.
In this film too, I love the fact that your parents are played by Isla Fisher and Greg Kinnear. I mean, I've interviewed them both many times over the years. They're both such wonderful people.
We really
Especially, I
are.
mean,
Yeah.
Isla is hilarious. I mean,
Oh
she
my God,
doesn't
I
get to
know.
show her comedic chops that much. And I love when they do let her. And same with Greg, you know, what was it like to have them as your parents?
It was such an incredible experience. I was just so grateful to be working with such talented actors and be able to soak everything up from them. And I
Yeah.
had quite a few scenes, especially with Greg, and he is just, they both are so amazing. So I was just trying, I didn't want to like pester anybody with questions, but you know, when you're working with incredible seasoned actors, you just try to learn as much as you can from them. And just as people too, they are so sweet. And like you said, so funny. I was always making me crack up on set. So it really was an all around amazing experience. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And some of the when you and your siblings go back in time to try to make some fixes, there's some fun things that happen. Was there anything that you were really looking forward to? One scene. There's some pretty funny stuff going on here, and then some really magical stuff too.
Mhm. There is one scene that I think us kids were really excited to do. And I won't spoil too much, but we got to break some things, which
Mhm.
was very fun. It was kind of like a rage room experience, which I have always wanted to do, but never got to do until then. So that was a really, really fun scene to film. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure very cathartic, I would think, right?
Oh,
Get,
yeah.
and I'm getting paid to do this. How awesome.
I
Yeah,
know, exactly.
yeah, really fun. And just talk about a little bit about the two young actors who play your brothers too. They are great,
Yeah.
especially you know, little Taylor, because he spends most of the movie. He can't. I don't want to give it too much away, but we find out that something has he can't speak or he won't speak, and he doesn't like to be touched. And I'm sure there's a lot of kids out there that will relate to him and what he's going through. So working with these two young guys must have been very interesting and fun as well.
Yeah, it was a really sweet experience. I mean, Easton especially, he when we met for the chemistry read, we just like immediately clicked, and he has autism in real life. So there were obviously other things that like other signals that he was showing just being himself rather than Taylor as the character.
Yeah,
But the chemistry is just so important, and he felt really, really comfortable around me, which was obviously very important for him as an actor to be able to just relax on set and not feel stressed out.
right.
And he was really, both were just really incredible actors, really soaking up the experience as well. And it was great to work with both of them. Mason as well, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you had a nice bond there, you know, when you were getting all along and stuff. But it touched my heart to see your
Yeah.
relationship with the youngest brother because of what he's going through and how she kind of grows up a little bit by becoming a little bit of a surrogate mom to him. And so yeah, it was lovely to watch that. You know, Shay, of course you had such great success and experience, you know, shooting here in Canada. I'm talking to you from Toronto. I know you shot in Vancouver, but you shot the Babysitter's
Oh,
Club
awesome.
in Canada. Yeah. And that show, I mean, seriously, who didn't read the books? Like, you know, it must have been so much fun to work on that. But how going into a show like that, knowing that there's already a built-in fan base, and then it became so popular on Netflix, what was that like for you? How do you, as a young girl, kind of like, oh my God, how do you deal with that? Social media, all those types of things.
I think I kind of got a little bit of the luck of the draw with that, because when the first season came out, we went right into COVID, which was a bummer for a lot of reasons because there were so many things that we were looking forward to doing to celebrate in person with each other, all those things. But to have like kind of the internet success of it blow up
Mm,
while I was at home kind of gave me this like safe bubble to really just actually take it all in and process it without having to like go out in the world and be expected to do all these things and show my face or whatever. So I feel like that really helped. But the first season when we were filming it, I think none of us fully processed just how big it was. And all of us had read the books before as kids. Like I read all the graphic novels when I was in elementary school, all those things. So we obviously knew there was a fan base attached already, but it's one of those things where like you know, but you don't really wrap your head around it.
yeah.
So it wasn't until the first season came out and then we all kind of started getting like a social media following and realizing how many fans there were that it really clicked in. So then season two had a whole different feel, and we were just, I think none of us really were nervous about it because at that point everybody was so loving that was watching the show. So we kind of just really enjoyed the whole process rather than getting in our heads, which was really, really nice.
Yeah. It was fun. It's fun. It was a fun series for sure. So what's next? Like, what do what are you up to this summer? Are you going to relax? Maybe do some music? Like, tell me a little bit about what do you like to do when on your downtime?
Yeah, well, I do play instruments. I play piano and guitar, so I've been totally getting back into those this summer. And I'm in film school right now. I'm studying screenwriting. So really focusing on kind of learning more about the back end of film because the more that I've grown up and done other movies and things like that, I've realized how much I love every part of it aside from just acting. And I'm still auditioning, still doing all of that. Acting will always be my number one love, but I think there's some really other parts of it that I am really starting to love and learn more about. So focusing a little bit on writing and just living life growing up. Yeah.
Well, good for you. Well, enjoy, some downtime. It's summertime and,
Thank
relax a little bit.
you.
You work very hard as a young girl, as a young actress. So, my pleasure to have the opportunity to talk to you today, Shay, and best of luck with the
Yeah.
present. It's like I said, it's such a great family film. It's perfect for this time. We need these kind of fun films as far as I'm concerned. So
I
thank you
agree.
for that.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. So nice
Well,
talking to you.
nice talking to you. Have a wonderful weekend and thanks for your time today. Take care.
You too.
Okay,
Thank
bye-bye.
you.
Bye.